till my coffee break.
I need a cup of coffee and a couple dollars change.
Take a trip on your coffee.
Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions.
Coffee is just water dressed in brown.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Norm. So thrilled you're here with me today. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day, whenever and wherever you're hearing this. Today's topic is achievement, your achievement. And it falls in the areas of not only personal achievement, but leadership achievement, professional achievement, and even organizational achievement. So even your organizations can use this information today to achieve and get better and grow. In particular, we're talking about your achievement and your moments of truth, because this is when the tires hit the road, right? Your moments of truth. And we're going to talk about what those are and how they show up and how we handle that. So achievement, first of all, achievement is in your DNA. As a human being, you were born to grow, change, and achieve. There's no denying it. You might not recognize it, you might not even like it, but you were born to achieve. The whole history of mankind is just that achievement. So it's in your DNA. It's natural for you to achieve, right? We put all this stuff in the way that gets in the way, and we're going to talk about that, but it's there, it's inside you, it's yours for the taking, just deciding to go ahead and be that awesome individual. So what's a moment of truth? So a moment of truth is when you hit your proverbial wall, and it can be brought on by a number of different things, from somebody saying something negative to you about what you're doing. So when something goes wrong, you start questioning yourself. When something doesn't look like you thought it was going to look like, you start questioning yourself and you start deciding whether you're doing the right thing or not. And then even if you fail step 1, step 2, and step 3, you stop and sometimes you question yourself. And so this is when your commitment is tested. This is when your self-doubts show up. This is when you start deciding, do I go on or not? It is the ultimate measurement of your commitment around that particular goal, intention, or even New Year's Eve resolutions, right? So this discussion is the same, again, for both all professional, personal, leadership, and organizational achievements and goals and practices. There are some key mindsets that you need to adopt to be an achieving, effective individual, to make changes, to grow, to pivot, etc. So I'm going to read some of these mindsets off. Now, there are thousands of different mindsets, right, that we have during the day. These are the ones that tend to show up when you challenge yourself with a growth project, a big goal, a big achievement. And so I'm going to read these off to you now, but while I'm reading these off to you, I'm going to invite you to stop and be mindful of what conversation shows up in your head when I share these mindsets with you. And a mindset is an attitude, a position, if you will, that you take in the world, right? And we all have them. And the thing to look at mindsets is not, are they good or bad? I look at mindsets as, are they effective and usable and worthwhile, as opposed to not. So again, I invite you all to question what I say, listen to what up here, what your conversation and your story might be around these mindsets. And again, we all have those as well. So the number one mindset to have is that I am responsible for everything. Not me, you for your life, right? But I am responsible for everything, not to blame for things going wrong, not to blame for things outside your control. It is just you're responsible for what's in your world that you can and should handle. Number one. Number two, I am true to myself. And that is more difficult than you might think, because we were all brought up a certain way and we all have a worldview based on how we were brought up, our educational system, what you were taught, what your parents believed in, or what they think you should do, what looks good in the world, what social media says you should do, all that nonsense, all the brainwashing we've gone through literally since day one. So it's important to question yourself when you look at those goals and those wants and those things that you want to achieve, just to make sure that you're clear that this is not something beyond who you are, and it's not being true to yourself. Big step, and easier said than done. But it's just a process of going down and peeling that onion back. So you can do that. I am disciplined. As you all know, nothing really happens without the discipline to get it done, follow through with it. So it's important to have that mindset. I am disciplined. I am tenacious is another one. So tenacity shows up when things are not going like planned or not going well, or when you think it's going to look like this and it looks like this. That's actually the process of growth and change and achievement. So being tenacious is key to keep going. I am courageous. So if you are playing big, right, in your life, and you're taking on some huge achievements and goals, and you're playing big, you're going to get scared sometimes. Nothing wrong with it, right? Courageousness is not being afraid. It is being afraid and still proceeding along because it's that important to you and what you need to achieve. Another key mindset is I have fun. It's important to have fun, or else this is kind of all a waste of your time, right? Achievement can be fun. Now, it doesn't mean you always enjoy what you're doing, but have fun. Don't confuse seriousness with effectiveness. It doesn't work that way. You're much more effective when you're having fun and lighthearted, if you will, and playing. I am worthy. Key mindset. I've worked literally with thousands of people, and I don't think I've met a person or worked with a person yet that doesn't have some of that I'm not worthy conversations going on in certain areas of your life. So be aware of that. It's almost part of our growing up and our background. It's just there. So just be aware of that. And when you hear that I'm not worthy conversation, change into a more useful mindset. Now, this is practice, right? I promise you, you can't just say, okay, I'm worthy, and that's done, right? It doesn't work that way. It is reprogramming yourself, reprogramming your mindsets, catching them, and then changing them. It takes practice, takes some time, but it's not impossible. And depending on how adaptive you are, you can actually do this fairly quick and catch yourself. Again, it has to do with mindfulness as well. Number 8 is a really important mindset, and it is this: I'll need help. I need help. And help doesn't show up as well, it shows up in many ways, but it's okay to get and need help. If your achievement, your goal, your project is big and you're playing large, you're going to need help. If you can do it yourself, is it that big of a challenging project for you? Is it something worth your while? Who knows? You got to decide that. But if you're playing large, you've got some big goals, then you're going to need some help. And it's going to show up 2 ways. You're going to need support. You're going to need someone who's going to help you through these mindsets when you hit the wall, all that good stuff, who can inspire and empower you. And you need someone to hold you accountable. I know nobody really kind of likes it, right? But we can try holding ourselves accountable, and we're good at that for certain areas of our life, but not all areas of our life. The number one equation, the equation for empowerment is accountability plus responsibility. We need that. All great achievements in your life have and will come from somebody holding you accountable. You need to build that in. So most of your moments of truth will revolve around these mindsets. They'll show up whether those mindsets are there or not, right? So those are your moments of truth that hit you right there, like you stopped or you talking yourself out of something or whatever it is. When a moment of truth shows up for you is when self-awareness begins. It's when you begin to become much more effective, much more dynamic in your growth and your way of being in the world. I'm going to read that again. When a moment of truth shows up is when your self-awareness begins. Now, how you handle that is key, right? It's going to take all those mindsets to help you handle those. When a moment of truth shows up, and maybe you hit that wall, you're struggling, it's the opportunity to begin to grow. It's the opportunity to begin to grow into and become the person you want to be and have the life you want and all the things that go along with that. So it's important to hit those walls, if you will, those stoppages, if you will, and get past them, being tenacious, courageous, disciplined. That's how you grow into being that human being. And that's how you grow into become a dynamic, effective achiever, if you will, and able to really take charge of your life. I don't know if you've heard this before. I mentioned to you before on these different podcasts, but according to Cornell University, they did a huge study in 2010. They came up with this statement: self-awareness is the #1 predictor of overall success. So it's important to go through this process of self-awareness and self-discovery, if you will. And self-discovery and self-awareness shows up in projects, in challenges, in growth. And that's why most of my work is based on projects and challenges and growth, because that's where self-awareness lies. That's where you become a super effective achieving human being. And I use this quote to help support that. And this is my quote. And it is this: most everything you need to know about yourself shows up in your actions and or non-actions. It does. I'll read that again. Most everything you need to know about yourself shows up in actions and or your non-actions. That's who you are. That's where you are. That's what you need to work on, whatever shows up there. And it's really an incredible time and moment when you see that stuff. So mindfulness, self-awareness is key. So just so you know, in my organization, Dash Achievements, I pride myself on bringing to you unprecedented support, really caring accountability, and I promise you unlimited results if you take on all these mindsets and choose to be great, choose to have that incredible life. If I can be of any help to you, please reach out to me at dashachievements.com. Do the contact page, let's meet, and we'll set something up. You can go to my website, explore some things as well. But you will need some help if you promise yourself some big achievements. I thank you. Have a great day and go have a great new year. And I will see you all really, really soon. So go and make your difference in the world. Thank you so much. Have a great one.